So this shows the tax levy over the past 4 years from $62.5 million to $72 million. Between 2016 and now, in the past 10 years, the average single-family tax bill has gone from $4,588 to $6,718. Inflation has hit everybody. This proposal would simply reduce the amount of free cash each year we have. But right now, it's between 5 and 8. It would be, if you take the $1 million proposal, it'd be between 4 and 7 million. We're to take 1 million less than we can for fiscal 26's budget. Then in fiscal 27 budget or any later year, we could access that million back. This proposal would say, instead of taking the 2.5, take 1% less. Take a 1.5% increase next year as part of the budget.
It's not worth it to start drinking from the straw again.
Well, the town was in a financial freefall just a few short years ago. Every single budget was a battle, and not just to avoid cuts, but to prevent outright closures. Our professional management team has improved efficiency and delivered positive financial audits. We've received a raise in our credit rating with the highest level now within reach. Just a few years ago, we couldn't have dreamed about that. That's essentially an achievement that would save taxpayers millions in lower borrowing costs. Taking the full levy is a key factor in reaching that goal. A rebate is absolutely nothing compared to the long-term savings that will come with a top-tier credit rating. That is true tax relief. Instead of engaging in any type of misleading political games and foolishness, we have been there, we've seen it, it's been awful, and we have come out of that. The question we should really be asking is, how do we strengthen our town and provide responsible tax relief?
Every year he brings it up. Okay? This is only a one-year reprieve, boys and girls. And who does it benefit? Well, it certainly doesn't benefit the renters in this town. They're not going to see one thin dime. Do we really want to give a good chunk of our tax revenue back to Emerald Square Mall? It isn't so much the tax rate it's the assessment of the property that is the problem. And guess what? It's not a North Attleboro problem. It's everywhere.
I think the current proposals really don't, they are for very short term. They're myopic, right? Very nearsighted. This seems to me one-year focus, right? And I think when you're looking at municipal budget, you have to look beyond that, right? If you do this, you're revoking our residents' right to throttle government and keep it at 2.5. That you're creating excess levy capacity, and then even as Councilor Gould said earlier in his presentation, you could go all the way up in increase in the coming years, higher than Prop 2.5 would allow you to do it, without one single vote of a resident. If you take $1 million, it comes to $91 per household. That comes to $7.60 a month in your tax bill. The price of eggs today is over $8, depending on where you buy it. A Happy Meal at McDonald's is $4.99. You could get one of those and you get to pick the sauce you get with your chicken McNuggets. Emerald Square Mall would get $13,200. The residential shift of 0.27 put $2.7 million off of the residents and onto the businesses. That's equivalent to both Councilor Gould's $1 million and Mr. Celtica's $1.7 million. You added this year alone, with your support in finance, $380,000. $80,000 coming from our targeted senior work-off program to our veterans exemptions and our senior exemptions. It came to $3.1 million. An average decrease of the tax bill already, that you're doing already today, of $310 to $315 per taxpayer, depending on not if you're in the senior work-off program or not. Health insurance increases this year are running double digits for almost every community. If we reduce, do we now have to consider changing the contribution share of that health insurance? The town pays right now well over almost $5 million a year into the pension plan to support the current retirees. And what do we tell our retirees? Our OPEB right now is around $156 million. We're on track to pay $1.3 million towards our OPEB. But would we have to consider this and reduce this and push this on to future generations? We have 10 bargaining negotiations this year. You potentially would be setting the stage for employees to make less money next year than they make this year. What do I tell teachers, paraprofessionals, laborers, clerks? It's easy to come up and say, cut $1 million. It's harder to say, what do we do? But it is $7.60 a month or $13.30 a month worth this.
This would essentially be a 1%, less than 1% haircut. And whose household budget hasn't done that? Emerald Square Mall, easy fix. Assess them higher. We'd be negligent not to. Shift to business, not the answer. So maybe I'd say half if I'd move to see if there's interest in reducing the tax levy $500,000 for fiscal year '26.
There is a motion.
I just don't understand.
There's no second on the motion, not here? No. Motion is moved.